Hey, it's Vaz here from Aussie RC Playground, and welcome to my unboxing slash running video slash review of the WLToys-EV, or perhaps it's called the A979-B, or perhaps it's called the Brave Pro. I'm not entirely sure how the guys over at WLToys decided to market this, but you'll see there that it's got a different name on the truck, and then of course it has a number here, which I know that this number is sold around the world under this name code, but then here it's also Brave Pro. So and I'm a little bit confused as to why there's two remotes on the box. The remote in the box is actually this one, but aside from all that, these trucks are supposed to be super quick, super tough. So we're going to do this all in one video. I'm going to take it out of the box real quick. I'm going to show you what we get in the box. Then I'm going to run it, and then I'm going to come back and give you my thoughts on it. So let's get to work. So once everything is out of the box, this is what you get. There's a little tool here to help you work on the car. This will help you remove your wheels. It's only made out of plastic, but well, at least they include a little tool for you. There's also a wall charger. This is a fairly basic wall charger though. So this charges via the balance lead on the charger. That guy plugs in there. This plugs into your wall, and it charges at about 0.5 amp. So it will take you a while to charge up your battery, but at least, hey, you know, they give you what you need to get started. User manual, pretty basic user manual. It does have some exploded views in here, and some basic instructions of how to use the car, how to turn it on, what steering trim does, throttle trim, all of that sort of thing. And there's even a couple of sheets at the back here that have all the part numbers should you need to order any parts for the car. The remote itself is actually not too bad. Has a little bit of a rubber feel on the handle here, which is quite nice. Runs on 4 AA's, and I've already put some batteries in here. Batteries are not included for this radio, so it turns on with a little beep on there. The wheel feels kind of good, but it's comically oversized. It's a little bit big. Collapsible antenna up here. You got steering trim and throttle trim down the sides here. No steering dual rates or anything like that, so pretty basic remote, but it does feel very, very comfortable in the hand, so I like that. It's quite nice. Now for the truck itself, here it is here, and I guess we'll start with the body. So I'll very quickly remove these body pins if I can. I'll just pop these two aside, and I can get these other two out of here very quickly. And let's have a look at the body itself. Now, I don't mind the color scheme of this. This actually looks very nice, and the body itself actually feels pretty good, feels pretty tough. It's not very flimsy. I think this will actually hold up pretty well, so looking forward to seeing how that guy goes. There is the truck there, and I guess we'll start off with the LiPo battery. Now this is only a 2S LiPo battery. There's a bit of a warning sticker on one side. It is a 1500 milliamp, comes with a T style or Dean style connector on there, so which is pretty good, I suppose, better than having a Tamiya one on there. I'll quickly put the strap back on that just so it doesn't flop around. And there it is. There's the chassis with that huge motor on there. I have to say the motor looks absolutely massive inside this tiny little chassis. Now, tyres themselves don't have any foams in them, but the rubber is not too bad. It's a little bit on the hard side, but you know, it's designed for longevity, and it does have a pretty aggressive tread, so I'm hoping that this actually grips pretty well on a variety of surfaces. It's got a nice sturdy front bumper on there. We've got a fairly micro sort of size servo with a servo saver mounted on there as well. You've got fixed camber and toe links all the way around. You've got steel dog bones front and rear. You have 2 adjustment points on the shock towers to adjust your shocks. You can also see that you've got some aluminium shock caps on there, and these just fairly simple shocks. They're not threaded bodies or anything, but they didn't include any preload spaces for you to adjust your suspension. Speaking of which, suspension on this guy is a little bouncy, but not terrible. I mean, this is a very lightweight vehicle. It might actually hold up pretty well overall. At least I'm hoping it does. Now, the ESC is kind of a 2-in-1 ESC, so it's a receiver and an ESC, and of course you got your little on and off switch just on top there. Steel drive shaft running right through the middle there. You got a little antenna right in the middle of the truck just there, and everything is mounted on a nice little plastic tub style chassis. So pretty nice sort of vehicle overall. I can see some adjustable body posts on here as well, which is I guess a good advantage if you're planning to run different bodies, but I don't know, too many bodies that would fit this other than the standard ones. So we'll see if anything becomes available in the long run. The top deck here is a little bit flimsy, but this is such a small little tub chassis. I don't think that that's really there for anything other than just keeping everything together. I don't think it's adding any additional strength. Looks like it may be running on bushings from what I can tell. It doesn't look like there's ball bearings in these hubs from what I can see here. Yeah, it looks as though it's running on bushings, but at least, according to the box, it can still run up to 70 kilometers an hour, which is pretty darn quick for something this small. And I cannot wait to charge up this battery and take this guy out for a bit of a run and just see if it can actually take on the BMX track, or if it's going to fall to pieces. I've been told that these are actually really tough vehicles, so I'm really looking forward to running it and putting it through its paces. Now, this one here with the red body, this one retails for about 140 bucks, thereabouts. There's a cheaper one for about $100, which is a little bit slower. It's got a smaller motor in it, and it's got a different color body on there. And that one, yeah, like I said, it's about 100 bucks. And these are ideal little cars just to sort of get started into the hobby. So I'm going to show you now how this guy runs, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts on this WLToys EV favorite car. And it's got headphones there on the side. It's a very weird marketing thing that they got going on. But aside from all that, looks cool. Let's take it for a run and see how it goes.
I've got a GPS in the truck to see if we can get a top speed reading out of this. It is fast. I can't quite get the full throttle here. It doesn't help that when I throttle it, it wants to go to the right. Wow, this thing is quick. Whoa, that was full throttle. Oh, there he goes. Hey. On the plus side, it's pretty durable. Took a pretty big hit there, pretty big tumble. Oh no, we got cars. You're gonna go right after my car? What are you doing? Oh! Alright, we'll do a couple more passes if I can get it to go full speed. And we'll check our GPS. What? This thing is nuts. Alright, let's have a look. Here we go. What do we get? 59. So not quite 70. 59 is still pretty quick. Alright, let's get rid of the GPS and put the body back on, and then we'll go bash it. Okay, let's go around the bend first. I just want to get a feel for this, just around the gravel here. Oh, thank God. Wow. Trying to go full speed with this is a bit of a challenge. It's just bouncing everywhere. I think it needs a little bit of oil in the shocks. Oh, this thing has so much power. This thing is ridiculously overpowered. Yeah, as soon as you accelerate, it just goes bonkers. Doesn't really want to go fast off-road. You have to be very gentle with your throttle. And this big, massive wheel that they've put on this radio is a little bit hard to get used to be honest. The car doesn't have a lot of steering and not a lot of precise steering. But, oh my God. This has power for days for such a little car. Yeah, as soon as you accelerate, you got to be really gentle with it. Definitely better suited for on-road, I think. Yeah, see, I don't know why it wants to keep going to the left. As soon as you accelerate, it just spins out. I'm not even trying. Oh, got a little bit of wheelie happening then. Whee! Woo! This is fun. I know it may look a little frustrating, but it is actually quite fun to drive. It's just silly. you know, and I think given that this doesn't take itself very seriously, and given the price point that it is, this thing is just silly power, silly fun. Taken a few hits, it's survived quite well. It just bounces around quite a lot. I think a little bit of maybe like a 20 weight shock oil in the shocks might actually fix the handling characteristics a little bit. It's super bouncy right now. Yeah, it's a little bit oh, now it's got that clicking sound, which is usually spur gear related, so you can hear that. Oh, come on, bring it back. Yeah, that's spur gear related, so that's like usually like dirt and stuff that gets into the spur gear area. Yep, just stuff that was in the spur gear. That's really all it was. Gave it a couple of revs. You might hear it come on and off every once in a while, but that's really all it is. These types of cars, they always have that issue, especially when you run them on gravel areas like this that are dusty and gravelly, and all you need is the tiniest little bit of dirt to get into the spur gear. Oh my god, this thing has so much power. And that's it, you know, this thing just starts making that noise. Oh, almost had it, almost had it. Oh. Woo! Oh. That's the only thing, you can't really go full speed with it. And I don't know if it's like torque steer on the servo, or you know, the servo is just a little bit weak and it can't really steer the car, or if there's some other forces at work here. But even when you ease the power on, it's just it starts to spin out as soon as it gets up to a bit of speed. See, that's what I mean. Like, that wasn't pegged from a standing start. That was a rolling sort of floor it, and it just yeah, it likes to spin itself out. I mean, anybody could have a ton of fun with this. This is a lot of fun to drive, but you can't expect it to take itself seriously. It's just a muck around truck. Oh wow, it had to fall the wrong way.
Alright, so here are my final thoughts on this Dash EV little 1/18 scale monster truck, also known as the Brave Pro, or perhaps even the A979-B. This thing is a ton of silly fun, and that's really how I'm looking at this truck. From the moment I started driving it, as you would have seen in the running video, this was a little bit tricky to control, I'm not going to lie. It definitely struggled to stay in a straight line, especially off-road. It was capable of holding a straight line on-road. But I think a lot of that has to do with either, you know, suspension tune, being that it's really bouncy, it doesn't really you know, stabilize the car very well. Steering servo could definitely be a bit of an issue, and of course having bushings as opposed to bearings, well, that can create a hindrance in wheel speed. One wheel could spin a little bit faster than the other, and that could create a bit of a problem trying to keep this thing in a straight line. But you know, it was a ton of fun regardless, and that's really what this truck is all about, is just taking it out of the box, charge up your battery, and just go out there and have a bit of fun with it. It's not trying to take itself very seriously, and I don't think it's marketed as that either, especially when you consider the price point. So for me, you know, I like it for what it is, and that's really just a bunch of silly fun with an overpowered motor. You know, a truck like this that can hit 60 kilometers an hour. I know it's marketed on the box as 70. I wasn't able to achieve that speed, but who knows, maybe with some wheel bearings it might actually get there, if you know, if these bushings allow the truck to go a little bit quicker. So I think the potential is there, that's for sure. And you know, for the most part, it actually took a couple of good hits. It took a number of cartwheels, and apart from the body being scratched up a little bit, it held up perfectly fine. Wheels didn't fall off, I didn't break any arms, everything was fine. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be spending a little bit of time with it off camera. I'm going to see if I can tune up this suspension a bit, because it doesn't look like there's much oil in there. Maybe invest in a better steering servo, and I'm definitely going to be putting wheel bearings on the hubs here on all four corners to see if I can get a bit of a smoother run out of this truck. And who knows, maybe I might even achieve that 70 kilometers an hour, although 60 is plenty for this thing as it is. It is plenty powerful. But for now, I'm going to leave this one here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And as always, check out the video description, where I'll have links in there to the Metro Hobbies website, where you can pick one of these up, and also links to my social media pages. Thank you again for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.